Hello friends, welcome to day 2 of the 12 Days of Christmas series. In this video, we're going to make a really simple, very beginner friendly, kind of black and white classic Christmas design. So I'm starting out with my 20-ounce modern curve tumbler that has already been glittered. I glittered this on Alive in my elite group. The name of this glitter is Lucius, or Lucius if you're fancy, and it's from the October Peachy palette from Peachy Olive Glitters. So I've got the glitter on, I sealed it with my half and half mix of CRYSTALAC glitter glue and water, and now we're going to add our first 2 coats of epoxy to the cup. I'm going to use, as always, my Flynn Sisters Supply Shop Fast Cure epoxy, and this first coat is about 30 milliliters. This is a heavier coat, and then the second coat will be probably between 15 and 20, and at that point your cup should be totally smooth and shiny. This is a fine cut glitter, so you don't need to do a ton of epoxy coats, and you shouldn't have to do a lot of sanding either. But if your cup is not totally smooth at this point, you can sand it down, and then you want to add another coat of epoxy, or you can add a clear coat of like spray paint. I always prefer to do an extra coat of epoxy, but you want your cup to be completely smooth and shiny before you move on to this next step, because we're going to be applying some clear decals, and you don't want to put those clear decals over a rough sanded surface because they won't shine back up when you put epoxy over them. Before I start adding my decals, I am going to take my craft knife and just run it along the top rim of my cup to get rid of any of that glitter and rough epoxy that might be hanging out up there. Again, I'm not doing any sanding right now. We don't really need to until right before our final coat. So I'm just going to take my knife and kind of clean up that top rim, and then we can move right into our decals. So for our decals, we're going to use this super cute element sheet. This is from Slide Hustle. I will link them down below. They have a really good shop on Etsy, and we have a discount code that you can use. You can use Mallory10 to save 10% on your order. So we're going to use those, and then we're also going to use this hand-lettered Believe decal. This is available on my website, and I created an offset for the decal, cut that offset out of some small buffalo check pattern vinyl. I wanted to tie in just a little bit more of that black and white checkered look that we have. The buffalo check is so Christmas, and yeah, I just wanted to tie that in a little bit. You can also just use plain vinyl if you want to. You don't have to use a pattern vinyl as your offset, but it's kind of fun. And then for the top layer of our decal, I'm going to use this really pretty red chrome vinyl. This is from TECKWRAP Craft. So I'm going to, as always, layer these on my tumbler. So I'll put the offset down first, and then I'll put, obviously, the top layer right on top of that. Alright, so now we can put all of our cute little Slide Hustle decals on the tumbler. Now what I'm going to do is cut these out one by one and then place them on the cup wherever they fit. My goal here is to fit as many as I can on here, and what's really nice about these, as you can see here, they're really flexible. So they're not a typical white ink printed decal. They're kind of like rough and thick, which is fine. They work out fine, but these ones are still printed with the white ink, but they feel like a really flexible, pliable printed vinyl rather than a thick decal that's not going to mold around the curve of your tumbler. So that was really nice. It made putting these over that curve in our cup a whole lot easier. And of course, if you're working with a straight edge cup, it's going to be even easier. So I'm just going to cut these out one by one, fill up my tumbler the best I can, and then we'll move on to our next step. Now that we've got all of our side hustle decals on, we can move on to our snowflakes. I cut these out of the same red chrome vinyl that we used for the Believe decal, and I cut out a few different sizes. I had to cut these twice because I made them way bigger than I needed, so I would like measure the area, figure out kind of where you're gonna go with them, and then size them accordingly. And what I'm gonna do here is just take whatever snowflake fits in whatever kind of big area I have and just fill in all of that empty space. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. Honestly, the cup looks fine with just these images on there, but I wanted to tie in a little bit more red, bring in a little bit more of that chrome look, which I think is really pretty, and I love a full tumbler, so I'm gonna add these snowflakes wherever they'll fit. Okay, so once you've got all of your snowflakes applied to your tumbler, you can go right into your final coat or two of epoxy. Before the final coat, I would recommend sanding down that top rim just to get that little sliver of stainless steel so you can form the final seal with your epoxy. But other than that, you can just finish this cup off and it's so stinking cute. This is a super simple, very beginner-friendly design, but I love it. I think it turned out so cute. It really packs a huge punch and is so festive. So I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. I hope you like the tumbler design. If you do, please be sure to let me know down below in the comments. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Okay, thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, love you. Bye!